the latest series of The Crown. You know that I am fairly obsessed with the series. I know people say, oh gosh, they're extending the truth, whatever. I don't know whether they are or not. I just think it's a fantastic series. And the premiere at Drury Lane, they chose, this is the premiere to the whole series with all of the cast there and the glitterati and the press. They chose to show episodes 1 and episodes 3. Why episode 3? Episode 3 because it concentrated on Mohammed Al-Fayed and his contribution to this country, to Harrods, and to the royal family. It was absolutely fascinating. So I am really excited to say that after impressing casting directors during the audition process, the aspiring London actor, Mohammed Kamel, landed the role of Ali Al-Fayed, who is Mohammed Al-Fayed's younger brother, and who was also obviously then uncle to Dodi Al-Fayed. And can I just say that Mohammed Kamel is actually a teacher of English at the Functional Skills Educational Centre in Wembley. How wonderful that he landed this role. And I'm so pleased to say he joins us on The Late Show. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Joe.
Congratulations, because I really enjoyed that episode. In fact, that episode has had a lot of reaction, episode 3, because so many of us knew so little about Mohammed Al-Fayed.
That's right. And I think that one of the great things that Peter Morgan has done, not just with this episode that you're mentioning, but the entire series, all the series of The Crown, is he's managed to bring to our attention things that we may not have known. For example, you and I may have known that Edward VIII abdicated because he wanted to marry Mrs. Simpson and so on. But there's a whole generation of people who don't know that.
Yeah.
And in season 1, he addresses that.
Yeah.
And I think it was done in a very tender and very sensitive way. And it was important for people to watch him to think, hang on, Elizabeth didn't really want to be queen, did she? But she was forced into it.
And that's
she was
why,
forced into it because her uncle abdicated.
And I think,
so to learn things like that, yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think that's why she was so admired for it, because she wasn't like, William and Charles, whatever, have been prepared for it. She wasn't. It was thrust upon her and she never put a foot wrong. And I for that reason. But to go back to the Mohammed Al-Fayed episode, I had no idea that he and Dodi funded Chariots of Fire, the film.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, I had no idea.
Yeah, neither did I, until I read the script. And I was like, oh, really? And then, of course, when I saw the footage from the Oscars, and they thank Mohammed and Dodi Fayed, don't they, at the
really?
Oscars?
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
I remember seeing that footage years and years ago as a kid, but I'd completely forgotten about it, of course.
They do put it, as you say, they put it into The Crown. But Chariots of Fire was my generation. I loved it. I had no idea that the money came from the Fayed family. Can I just ask, Mohammed, because, as I say, you're a teacher of English in Wembley. Are you a trained actor as well?
I am, yes. I started training in 2014 and 2015, and I was already, of course, a grown person with a career as an English teacher, as you said, so I couldn't go to full-time drama school.
So did you go to the poor school? Where did you go to?
No, I went to Arts Ed in Chiswick, which is Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber's institution, as you know, and I did the evening course, so I went 4 evenings a week, every week for a year.
Good for you.
Until I graduated. Yeah, that's right.
That's good for you. I think it's absolutely brilliant that you did that, because that's real commitment. It's one thing being a full-time drama student, prancing around during the day and going out at night, but to work during the day and then go and study at night for anything, I have nothing but admiration. Well done.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
And so, did you have an agent? How did you get the audition?
Well, yeah, I didn't have an agent, and I discovered that if you want an agent, you have to have, a new set of headshots, a show reel, things like this. And I didn't have any showroom material, so I've always prided myself on being somewhat of a hustler, Joe, and a hard worker, and somebody with discipline. So I thought, okay, I can do this. So what I did was I decided to write and direct my own short films.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote and directed perhaps around, say, 4 or 5 short films.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them I didn't cast myself in, but the other 3 I did. And from the 3 that I cast myself in, I took little extracts, put a show reel together, pitched that show reel then to various agents, and hey presto, I got myself an agent.
Fantastic. And she got you the audition for The Crown?
She did. Her name was Deborah Ebsworth. Unfortunately, after the COVID lockdown, her business didn't survive. So she got me this fantastic role on The Crown and one other fantastic role, which I have to keep secret for now. And then she went out of business, unfortunately.
I mean, a lot of agents really did struggle through that because, of course, there was no work for any of their clients. May I ask, what was the audition like? Who did you see to audition for the brother of Mohammed Al-Fayed? Did you see the whole, all the producers and director, or just one person, or was it a self-tape?
Initially, I didn't see anybody. As you said, it was a self-tape. So they didn't even send through the whole script, Joe. They just sent through the couple of lines which involve your character. And they say, do a self-tape. And I'm a real old fuddy-duddy when it comes to technology. So I had done self-tapes before and really sort of not embraced this kind of new world.
Yeah,
I was very much a traditionalist. I was like, auditions have to be face-to-face.
Yeah.
And I'm really, swimming against the current and against the tide. I don't want to embrace this whole self-tape culture. But after a couple of self-tapes which didn't go so well, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna embrace this. This self-tape I'm going to take very, very seriously, put my heart into it. I'm going to be a self-tape lover. And I think it was one of the best self-tapes I ever did, because a few days later, the director got in touch with my agent and said, we want to see him in person now. We want to see him face-to-face now.
Do you know, as a real lesson there, because there are a lot of actors listening to us, and I know a lot of actors, and I help them with their self-tapes sometimes, because you have to have someone reading in.
Yeah,
and
right.
You get so disillusioned because you just think, I don't even know where this tape's going to end up. Is anyone ever going to watch it? And you're, an example of, yes, actually, you can get a job from it. When you turned up on the set, so tell me, where were you filming?
We filmed in various places in and around London. So, places like Buckinghamshire, Berkshire, Slough, that kind of area, Denham, Uxbridge, in lots of stately homes, which of course are doubling for various other venues around the world, like the Ritz Hotel or Harrods. Yeah.
I have quite a few friends from the Middle East, and they were all saying how accurate the family is in The Crown. This Al-Fayed family is so accurate in their attitude. Would you agree?
Yes. One of the things that drew me to it, I mean, I know that Mohammed Al-Fayed is a divisive figure amongst many people, and it's understandable. I mean, in his moments of grief, he came out and said some things that I think perhaps he would regret now, if he's honest with himself. And it was done out of pure grief and love for his son. And the kind of love that he has for his son, which is depicted in episode 3, and the close relationship he has with his brothers, it is very realistic. It is a very realistic portrayal of Egyptian family life.
Exactly.
I mean, I grew up.
Is it?
I was
that's
born in England, but I come of Egyptian stock, of Egyptian extraction, as they say, and our family life was like that. This kind of bond between where, even your third cousin twice removed is someone who you'd wake up in the night for and defend. and drive to the hospital at 3:00 in the morning.
Isn't
those kind of close bonds. Yeah.
I love, and it really was depicted like that. And also his love for the royal family. He loved the royal family. He just wanted to be on a par with them, And I don't know the role of Sydney in it. I don't know whether that's fictitious or whether that actually existed. Did it?
I don't know if it's fictitious or not. I think it's an amalgamation of several characters.
Uh-huh.
So it's very similar to one of my favourite movies is an old Spike Lee movie called Malcolm X. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't.
Starring Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
That came out in 1992. And one of my favourite characters in that Malcolm X movie is called Brother Baines. And he's the guy in prison who preaches to Malcolm X to get him to join his political movement. And that character is completely fictitious. But Spike Lee said it was an amalgamation of different real characters in Malcolm X's life. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what Peter's done here with this character Sydney. It might not be based on one real character, but it's an amalgamation of several people.
And very beautifully portrayed. I just finally want to ask you, because I just think she was I'm up to episode 5 at the moment, but I love the actress who's playing Princess Diana. I think she's amazing, especially because
Debicki.
Elizabeth Debicki, and especially because she's Australian. I mean, she's just so English and aristocratic in her portrayal. And
she's outstanding. Outstanding.
I think you got to know her quite well. Is that right?
I didn't get to know her very well, but I had a very interesting first day in the makeup truck where they were fitting me for my wig, and they said, "Do you mind? Someone else is going to come and join," because it was in the very strict COVID days. So they didn't really want two people in the makeup truck at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But they said, "Do you mind if somebody else joins you? We'll be very careful with the COVID protocols. You've all tested negative." And I was like, "I don't mind." That kind of thing never bothered me anyway. And then so she came in. Elizabeth came in, and she's standing there, just 6'3".
And may I just ask, when she's not in
Aura.
character, is she speaking an Australian accent?
Oh yes, she's speaking in a normal accent. Mm-hmm. It's amazing, and but she's just so friendly, down to earth, no airs, no graces. She goes over to help herself. She makes a coffee for herself in the makeup truck. I said, "But you're the main star. Shouldn't they be making you the coffee?" She goes, "No, it feels like a second home to me, this makeup truck." And she goes, "As I'm making one, do you want one, by the way?"
Oh.
And unfortunately for me, I had just had one delivered. 2 minutes previously, so I couldn't, very well ask for a second one. It would have been lovely to have that story.
You make me.
Can you imagine me going around saying, "Elizabeth Debicki made me a coffee."
She just made me a coffee.
I could dine out on that for years,
But just you talking about makeup trucks, I so envy you. I miss all that. I love makeup trucks. They're the best, the coziest, the most gossipy places to be.
Oh, they're fantastic,
aren't they?
Yeah. They're the real stars of the show.
Totally, yeah.
It's not just meeting Elizabeth, but sometimes it's the people you don't get to meet.
Yeah.
I grew up, I remember when I was 12 years old, I wanted to go and see Licence to Kill. This was in 1989, starring Timothy Dalton, of course. And I couldn't get in because it was a 15. And my older sister was begging the guy at the desk, "Oh, my brother's, he's 15. And the guy at the desk was just laughing at saying, "He looks like he's 11. There's no chance he's going to see Licence to Kill." He said, "But you can watch Batman because that's a 12 certificate." So I went in and watched Batman, but I really wanted to see Timothy Dalton in Licence to Kill. So when I was in the makeup truck, I saw there were pictures of Timothy Dalton all over the walls, because of course they have to put the pictures up for reference.
Yes.
So I said to my makeup artist, a wonderful girl called Frankie, I said, "Frankie, is Timothy Dalton in The Crown?" And she goes, "Yeah, he's playing Group Captain Peter Townsend." And I was so upset that we were never going to be
he was brilliant
together on the
Townsend.
same day. But perhaps it's a good thing I didn't meet him, because I probably would have fainted.
You would have just gushed.
Myself.
Listen, Mohammed, I think you were brilliant in it, and I know that you're going to be in the next series as well. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
It's been wonderful speaking to you. That's a name to look out for, Mohammed Kamel, who is playing the younger brother, Ali Al-Fayed, in the series The Crown. Absolutely brilliant performance.